Thank you. And thank you, everyone, and good morning. And I am so excited to chat with you all. And I did just want to say that I love to have a interactive chat. I don't want to chat at you. I want to chat with you. So as I'm presenting, if anybody has a question or whatnot, please just feel free to jump right in and ask that question. So don't worry about interrupting me. And can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. And can everybody see my presentation?
Yes.
Great. All right. So thank you for that introduction. Again, good morning. So this morning we're going to be talking about personal style and kind of unpacking it and getting into it. So first off, as you all know, personal style is your unspoken communication to the world. It's when you walk in, your clothing, good, bad, or indifferent, we're all human. It is going to be speaking for you. It's the way that when you see somebody on the TV, or you see somebody in the magazine, or you see somebody in the movie, their personal style that, has been done by a personal stylist or by the costume director or by somebody is letting you know immediately, how do I feel about that person? How do I feel about that character? What am I being told by their personal style the minute that I'm seeing them, on the movie, on the TV, on screen, in person, etc. So it's really that unspoken communication. And with that, we only have 3 seconds to make a great first impression because it is that quick. And it's that moment that somebody is deciding, do I want to engage with this person? Do I want to have a further chat with this person? Do I trust this person? Do I want to, walk over to them and start networking? And it takes up to 15 times of re-meeting you in order for that person to change that first impression of you. And it's crazy that it's 15 times, but it is. So we always want to make sure that we're putting, our best foot forward, and we have that confidence and we have that just oomph that we can go into any situation knowing that we feel good and we look good and we can have those conversations. And that really goes into a lot of what I talk about with my clients, is that your clothing really does impact your mood. And it's very important to dress up to a like business-y or businessness when you are working from home, because it really does change your mindset and it clicks in that positive mindset of, I'm going to be working, I'm going to be productive, I'm going to be doing something. And I really like talking about Lisa Stahari, and I'm probably murdering her last name, and I apologize if she can hear me, that really empowerment and that body positivity, that positive mindset really goes to, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to have great conversations. I'm going to take this day and I'm going to have those conversations that I might not have had, either on Zoom or in person, because I look good and I feel good. And it's really, right off the slide, understanding the psychological dynamics of why the right for us clothing can contribute to our confidence, raise our self-esteem, achieve our goals, and help propel us in the workplace. And this really is, goals are achieved one step at a time. You write them down, you dress to achieve them. I like to call it getting in the room that you want to get into, and style matters, and having that confidence to knock them out of the park. And it really is something that I work on with my clients. And it's some of our first conversations of, I ask them, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Let me take you on a journey through style and let's achieve those goals together. So they really, really do go hand in hand. And then I love talking about, style matters and capture your audience. And especially now, we've all been through, or still going through, a pandemic. Some of the style rules have changed, and they've changed that a little bit more casual is definitely acceptable. But knowing your audience and knowing who you're speaking to and dressing for that audience. Are you dressing for a Zoom audience? Are you dressing for an in-person meeting? Are you dressing for a speaking engagement? And how do I want to reflect my audience, but also let my audience know that I am here, I am to give a meeting, to give a one-on-one, to give a get to know you, to give a presentation. And it's thinking about all of everything that goes into that. And with a Zoom meeting, we now have to think about, do I have enough lighting? Is my background going to reflect me and my brand? Because that now, as a few slides from now, I talk about. Is my background, engaging? Is my background off-putting? Is my background, odd to the observer? And thinking about the whole entire presentation on Zoom of your lighting, your background, and yourself, and just giving that great best first impression, because they all do go together and they all do matter. And so now, segueing into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty, dressing for your body type. And there are 5 major body types. So with them, you have apple, triangle, which is also called pear, hourglass, inverted triangle, and rectangle. And this I could spend an entire presentation on. So I will just let you know that this is going to be a more overview and less of a total get down into it. So with an apple body type, you really want to always define your waist. And this might be counterintuitive to some people that might have an apple body type and that they want to hide and they want to cover. But it's something that I love working with my clients with, is that when you are hiding and covering, you're also becoming the shape of your clothing. And you might even look bigger than you actually are. And you might be surprised that when you do define your waist, when you have an apple body type, that you're like, oh my God, I look so much tinier than I ever thought I was. And it's because you are showing the smallest part of you and giving the observer a focal point to see you and to see your definition and to see your waist. And when you dress for your body type, you are basically just balancing out your frame and using pieces to balance out your frame. So then with the triangle body type, it's when your shoulders are a little bit smaller than your hips. So we always want to keep in your mind, I want to wear prints up top. I want to wear a little bit of color up top. For the ladies, you could wear a little bit of a shoulder pad, which now in 2022 is a strong shoulder. It's not the 80s shoulder. So now it's a strong shoulder, and just giving that definition up top to even out your hips. And then for the gentleman, you might have a sports coat or a blazer or a suit jacket that has a little bit more of an upper canvas and a little bit more interior detailing that gives a little bit more of a stiffer up top and more of a shape to your up top. And then again, wearing the prints and wearing the color up top to draw the observer's eye up top. And then we have hourglass, and hourglass is the definition of a balanced frame. Your hips and your shoulders are about the same measurement, and then your waist is smaller. So you can decide, do I want to play up my top half? Do I want to play up my down half? Do I want to play up both? And it's really your balanced frame. And next we have inverted triangle. And this one is where your shoulders are larger than your waist and your hip ratio. And this is where you have what you feel like. If you want to balance out your bottom half, you can do a little bit of a peplum for the ladies and give a little bit more hip definition. Or for the gentleman, you could wear more of a straight leg pant so that the body has more of a bit of balance. And this you would wear, a little bit more color down bottom, maybe some print down bottom, if you wanted to even out the observer and let them know to focus down bottom and spend a little bit less time up top if you wanted to balance out that frame. And since a lot of people love a strong shoulder, that they might just say, hey, I'm going to wear, black on bottom and play up my top. I love having a little bit more of a wider top. It's all about how you feel and how you feel best. So that's the inverted triangle. And then last, we have the rectangle. And this is where you have a shoulder, waist, hip ratio that's pretty much the same. Just like the picture, you are just kind of straight. So this is where you might have a lot to do with cinching in the waist, kind of like an apple, and defining your waist and giving yourself that balance out and that more of an hourglass frame by cinching in the waist and doing that. And you can do it with a belted blazer, or for gentlemen, just, literally popping on a belt and just wearing a bit of a balanced color top and bottom so that you focus on the belt and you see that middle bit. And I just want to pause right now. Do we have any questions? Does anybody want to jump in? Don't want to talk at you this morning.
Amanda,
Yep.
I have a question. My name is
Sure.
Megan Zug, and I generally am more of a rectangle.
Mhm.
And I have a question about the belting, right? Or doing something to define the waist.
Yeah.
As you said, does it make a difference? Often I'll wear like a belt or something around the waist that has defined waistband and then a jacket. Does
Yep.
it make a difference if the top layer isn't defined as such? Or because I've kind of just gone with, maybe the base layer with a belt and then the jacket, a little looser.
Yep. And you're doing a great job with popping on that belt, but it is, and you're absolutely correct, of where you're just naturally going in your thought process, that putting on that jacket over top is going to, again, bring you back to that rectangle, because you do end up being the shape of your clothing that's obviously on the outside. So if you were to take that blazer and cinch it in and do a belted blazer look, then you would keep that definition of your waist and then give yourself back that hourglass shape. Does that sound good? Yeah, cool, right on. Anybody else have any questions?
I do have a question, Amanda.
Mhm.
Does your body type change based on, let's say, level of fitness, or you put on weight, take off weight? Does it change over time?
Say that one last bit. Does it change your?
Does it change over time based on your
Yes.
level of fitness, or putting on weight or taking off weight?
Yep, definitely. It definitely changes. And that's a great question because, again, we've all been through a pandemic, going through a pandemic. We had a lot of, downtime, a lot of sit and, lockdown. And I know that a ton of my clients have had weight changes, and that, reassessing and just, having that chat with yourself and saying, what body type do I think I am now? And a great way that I like to work with my clients with that is, for gentlemen, popping on a black t-shirt and some black jeans. And for the ladies, it's popping on a black tank top and some black leggings, or a black pair of skinny jeans, and just taking a peek of yourself in a full-length mirror and just seeing, what body type do I think I have now? Are my shoulders broader than my hips? Are my hips broader than my shoulders? Am I maybe, a little bit more of an apple shape now? And just taking a peek at yourself and giving yourself that moment to breathe, being like, we've all been through this. Weight ebbs and flows. You make the clothing work for you and not you work for the clothing. So you just always keep that in mind and just give yourself a breather that every single person pretty much has gone through a little bit of a weight change through this wonderful time. So looking at yourself and just seeing yourself with that black top and black bottom on really lets you see, what body type you are, because you do ebb and flow. You do change throughout your life of a different body type. And that might be, why you might not be loving the clothing that you have on currently, is that you might be dressing for an old body type. And so that is a great way, to reassess. And Margaret, did I answer that okay? Or did you have more questions after that?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Yep, perfect. All right, pop back in. So this was something I brought up before in the beginning, is that, your style is your brand. Social media, love it or hate it, it's here to stay for business. And this is something that I really went over with, other speaking engagements I've had, and especially with my students at Immaculata while I was teaching for visual merchandising, is that having that cohesion and having your Instagram, your Twitter, your website, your Pinterest, your TikTok, anything that you're doing is cohesive, because you don't want to lose your client or your customer's, image and, branding of you and cohesion of you and your vision and your message and your why behind what you do. And having each aspect of your social media reflect that and reinforce that is just so great to reinforce that message and connect with all of your clients. And having that cohesion is key. And this is one of my clients, Lindsay. She is a realtor out in Chicago. And we did a lovely capsule wardrobe for her photo shoot, and we did all the pictures within one, and then we used some for her social, we used some for her website, we used some for her Pinterest, and then she popped in some house tours and some more pictures with her clients. And she just has a gorgeous classic style and really wanted to showcase that and to convey that, warmness, that authenticity, that trustworthiness as her being a realtor, and show that cohesion across all aspects of her social media so that her client really does know who she is and can, it almost creates like immediate rapport with her clients in keeping that message cohesive. So that's just something to think about your own social media. And so next, diving into colors. And this is another topic that I could spend an entire presentation on. So this is really when you look at your skin color, your hair color, and your eye color, and then your undertone color. And this is where you have different seasons. And this was something that was huge in the 80s. And some of you might remember, some of you might not. This was a huge thing to do, was to get your colors done, make sure you have them done. Somebody was going to come over to the house and you were going to wear no makeup. For the gentleman, if you did it, just, be in natural sunlight, natural light. And somebody was going to come over and pop some sheets of fabric on you. And in the digital age of virtual, we can now do this virtually. It's not as exact as when the person comes over, the colorist, and does the different fabric swatches. And this is obviously still done, but you can do this virtually now. And this is something that I love doing with my clients virtually and in person. And I have them send over a few pictures of their face in some non-direct natural light, and then their wrist in direct sunlight. And so with this, it will let you know, am I in autumn? Am I a winter? Am I a summer? Am I a spring? Am I trending warm? Am I trending neutral? Am I trending cool? And when you look at your veins in direct sunlight, when it is green or olive, you are trending warm. When it is a turquoise or like a blue-green, you are trending neutral. And when you are a cool, it is blue or purple veins. And this will let you know, am I a warm skin tone in the outside, but I'm trending neutral? Then it's a great way to also figure out your makeup foundation, because you can have a much better match to your skin color when you do this. And this also lets you know, if I'm warm, I'm going to, more go towards gold. And if I'm a cool tone, I'm going to gravitate more to silver. And then people that are neutral skin tone, you can find that they can wear both gold and silver. And this, obviously, as you can see from the pictures, goes for men and women. So this is something that you can definitely do. And you will find that when you wear colors that are great for your skin tone and your undertone, that your face just pops. And the saying of wearing something that is the color of your eyes is still true. And it conveys that immediate trustworthiness and that just gravitation to immediate rapport, immediate warmth, and immediate, I want to chat with this person. So keeping that in mind is great. But this, again, I could spend so much time on. And if anybody wants to have a further chat, I can definitely set up a one-on-one and we can go through this. But this is just kind of a quick overview to get you thinking about what is my hair color, what's my eye color, what's my skin tone, and then what's my undertone, and then digging in a little bit more, because within each of the different seasons, you can be a true, a clear, a deep, or bright. So they're even more drilled down, but it is a great way to wear a color and be like, wow, I look amazing in this color. I never knew. So that is that. So always dress to impress. And this is something that I tell my clients, always dress to impress yourself, because that is, you and your confidence and you shining through is when you dress to impress yourself. And it's the, old saying of I'm having a great hair day and you feel like you're on top of the world. And it also makes you more money when you dress to impress, because you feel good, you're in a great mood, and you look good. And this is a Yale study that I love to reference. Some of you may have heard of this, some of you may not have. So in 2014, Yale did a study with 128 participants. And they said to some of them, please be in casual attire, some of them be in business attire. And then they said, in this networking group, please go have a mock sales negotiation. As you guys can read from the slide, casual group made $680,000. Good day, great turnout, awesome. But the business group did make 2.1 million. So you can see that it's about a 200% difference. And it's because that we're all human. And we're going to go into a networking group. And if we feel that the person that we're having, especially a financial conversation with, that we're going to want to have somebody looking the part and having the conversation with us, that I immediately trust them. I immediately want to have a financial conversation with them. I immediately want to engage with this person, and, they look the part, and let's have a $2.1 million day. So dressing better, dress to impress yourself, put you in that high self-confidence, get you in the room and get you having those great conversations. And then you're just confident and you feel better. And so then to just go a little bit more into that, looking the part. And this was something that one of my networking friends mentioned to me, is that he is a consultant and he does a lot of help for corporations where they're like, we need to, get everybody together. We're not really sure, the employees aren't really driving, and we want, some great culture, some great cohesion. And we want somebody to come in and just do a full webinar and, discussion with our employees. And as he was pitching, he realized that what he was wearing was absolutely no different than the people he was pitching his services to. And he realized he wasn't going to be getting any contracts. And he was getting no's, and he was getting, we'll get back to you. And he immediately realized, I need to look the part. I need to look like I'm the person I'm telling people I am. I need to look the part of the fees that I'm asking for. And the minute he changed, it changed his mindset even more than it was already changed. But he ended up getting a gentleman to walk up to him after he gave a speaking engagement and said, I work, and it was a huge company, and I need a huge webinar. How many thousands of dollars do you charge for your webinar? And after that moment, he got contract after contract after contract for so much more than he had ever thought he could make. And it just really goes to, you don't have to look expensive. You just have to look the part of you and feel that amazing confidence. And then everything comes together and you just shine and you make great first impressions. So I wanted to include a few just examples of a great basic wardrobe, capsule wardrobe that will get you to the foundation part, and then you can add in those other bits. Because I really tell all of my clients, your wardrobe should consist of about 80% classic and about 20% trend and 20% personality. And this is an example of a gentleman's wardrobe. And it's really just going for those timeless pieces that you can wear for years and years and years. And this is where you spend a little bit more money, invest a little bit more money, and it also gives you a great sustainable wardrobe that you can build the pieces off of. And with these core pieces, and you can add in your pops of color, your pops of print, your, fun ties, fun cufflinks, fun pocket squares, pop of color for your polo, and bring out you and your personality. But having these pieces that you keep in your wardrobe as your base wardrobe and just build off of is a great starting point. And as you can see, it's definitely more casual. You can get away with, sneakers and a suit, sneakers for business casual, and dress your clothing down, dress it up. And again, it goes to knowing your audience and reflecting back your audience, but also letting them know I'm here to either, have a meeting or give a presentation or whatever you're doing that day. And then for the ladies, again, having that base wardrobe that you can build off of and add in more of your own personality and, that pop of color, that pop of print, that fun colored handbag or the fun colored shoe, or just that crazy floral print that you love, but then grounding it, with a great pair of trousers, and just ebbing and flowing with your personality, but having the great pieces that stay in your wardrobe that are timeless and that you can build off of. And this is a bit about me. And before I get into that, I wanted to just check in and see if anybody had any additional questions.
There was a few in the chat that we could go through.
Sure.
So Jeff wanted to know if the dress requirements change in different industries. And he gives an example that in IT, sometimes suits can turn people off. And you did go into a little bit. So maybe if you could go just a little bit more into that.
Yep, sure. Yeah, especially, there's been such a change now through the pandemic and through different companies. And different companies is very much, like, what is their dress code initially? And knowing your audience and dressing to the times, and everything has shifted definitely a bit more casual and a bit more business casual and much less, business in the truest sense of business. And that you want to, and I always say, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. And that goes to increasing that confidence, but then also knowing your audience and dressing to your audience and not alienating your audience. So it's really, just gauging what is literally maybe possibly even the written dress code, but then adding in your own personality. And, hey, I might want to, for the tech industry, wear a polo with a sport coat and then jeans and sneakers and dress it down. But still, I want to give that presentation of, I'd like to move up and I'd like to do something different. So I'm going to show that effort through my clothing first and then have those additional conversations. So just want to check in with Jeff. Jeff, did that answer?
And then the other question was from Charlie. He says, is it appropriate to wear a Fitbit and a wristwatch at the same time?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, yep, definitely.
At an evening event or a more formal event, shouldn't you ditch the Fitbit?
Oh, well, I mean, like, if we're doing like an evening event and it's more like black tie or, super polished and sophisticated, you could definitely err on the side of popping your Fitbit in your pocket and just, gauging the room, gauging the audience, seeing if others that are attending, this, I'm assuming, party or gala or ball or whatnot, are other people, wearing their Fitbit? Is this, kosher? Is this unkosher? And then when you have it in your pocket, you can pop it on if you see other people with it on, or just keep it in your pocket if you see others that don't have it on. But definitely for those more elevated, if you're doing a white tie or a black tie, that you definitely want to, know your audience, dress to the occasion, and, you might pop it on or you might keep it off.
Not trying to contradict Charlie at all. I think his question is good. I just happened to notice it on Rent the Runway,
Mhm.
because I do utilize that service for some, more elevated events. And
Yep.
I noticed a lot of the younger generation had Fitbits on with gowns and dresses that it looked a little awkward to me.
Yep. And that's definitely, the Gen Zers have told us that, you can do this and you can do that and you can no longer do that. And, we definitely see, the changes and the, movement of style and, going more towards this and possibly going away from that. And it's just the ebbs and flows of fashion that, different generations might see it differently and other generations might see it a totally different way. And it's just definitely, the ebb and flows of fashion, and you just feeling, super comfortable and super confident in yourself, and then, dressing to the audience that you're in and just feeling super comfortable.
The way out of the IT thing, I generally don't feel comfortable doing super casual.
Yep.
It kind of anywhere. And I've heard the the phrase business casualty, which I think is pretty funny for business casual. And I'm not in the IT industry, but I was thinking while you were talking about kind of dressing to blend in with the audience that you were addressing. And if you wanted to kind of present yourself as the professional and still be a little bit ahead, could you do that with things like shoes? Just have really great shoes on, really nice, or something akin to that?
Oh yeah. And it's more of, knowing your audience and not dressing so like out of the park that they're like, did
Yeah.
we not get the memo? Did
Yeah.
we severely underdressed? Like what happened? So it's definitely, dressing for your own personal style and being true to yourself, but understanding your audience and understanding, where you might be going. Am I going to give a speech? Am I going to have a coffee one-on-one get to know you? Am I going to a client's house? Am I having a Zoom chat? Am I, just running errands? And it's just having your own personal style, being super confident in that. But then, what am I doing to the day? What am I doing, during the week? What is my lifestyle? And then ebbing and flowing where you're going, and just making sure that if I am giving a presentation, I'm obviously, like you mentioned, I'm going to wear some killer shoes. I might pop on a suit. I might not. It depends on how I want to present myself. What is the topic I'm talking about? What is the audience I'm speaking to? And just thinking about all of those different factors, and then laying out, I like to say, like if it is a big presentation, laying out possibly 3 options, popping them each on, taking a picture of yourself in each of the options, and then looking at the picture and being, which one do I like the best? And then popping that outfit on to possibly, give that chat or give that speech.
Amanda, I think it's important to be authentic to yourself too.
Yes.
If you identify your audience and they're a bunch of IT people, I used to work in both worlds where I was a customer of the IT guys and we'd go to their plants and their tours and things, and they'd all be dressed in the way IT guys dress, real, very, very casual.
Yep.
But if we had dressed that way, it'd appear like we were trying to be imposters, right?
Right.
You need to stay authentic to your brand. They know who you are.
Yes.
They know what your brand is. Now you can take off your tie,
Yep.
right? and be a little bit more casual, but they don't expect you to come dressed like they are.
No,
If
no, no.
you do, they think you're trying to, it raises suspicions.
Right.
So I think
Exactly.
you have to be careful and stay authentic to your brand. Going
Yes.
back to your earlier comment.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Tim. And it's very much, know your audience, but stay true to your personal style and stay true to you, because that's where your utmost best image, best self, and best confidence comes from. But it is, just knowing your audience, knowing what you're doing that day, and knowing the interactions that you're going to have. And it's like, I like to give the example of, like a real estate agent from the city wearing a 3-piece suit going to go list a farm. And that's where you want to stay professional, be the realtor, be there for that listing appointment, but understand that I'm listing a farm. So I have to keep that in mind and know that I'm going to be having that chat with that, lifestyle person. So that's the example I like to give, is that, stay true to you, stay true to your personal style, definitely and obviously, but just know your audience and know their interaction that you're going to be having.
I'd also like to underline a point that was kind of subtle that you made about how it affects how you feel and how you act, the way
Big
you
time.
dress.
Big time.
When I was in the Navy, we had we on our ship we put in a rule that the sailors couldn't wear jeans, and they had to wear shirts with collars when they went on liberty.
Yep.
And we visited 27 different ports with that rule, and we didn't have any incidents with our sailors at shore getting in trouble. And compared to the rest of the fleet, which didn't have that rule, or many of the other ships didn't have that rule, they all had issues.
Yep.
So it affects how you feel and act. By
Yep.
having the sailors dress up a little bit, they acted differently when they were on
Yes.
liberty than if they were, in their jeans and t-shirts running around trying to cause trouble. So
Yep.
it does,
Very much
there is
so.
actually something to that. You act how you dress. So
Yes.
again, you got to stay authentic and be who you are.
Yep. Exactly. That is a great point, Tim. I love that.
I guess it's a sense of balance.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Because I think there are times when you do want to be, anti, you want to be really visible.
Yep.
And so if you are dressing like everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
you lose that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And go ahead.
And so but you also don't want to alienate.
Yes.
Unless you do. I mean, unless that's part of the image that you want to project, is that you're anti the group, or that's what they expect, and that's who you are, or whatever. So I think it's a question of understanding your style, understanding how visible you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and how much you want to relate to the group. Also, I find that when I don't know a group of people, I will tend to be a little bit more conservative.
Mm-hmm.
When I know them and they know me, I can be a little bit more free. And people are kind of expect it.
Yep.
So when I looked at your clothing, and they're lovely, they're beautiful classic pieces, but part of me goes, oh my God. Oh my God, if I did that, I would lose me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, exactly. And to touch on a few of your points that you made, Barbara, and I love what you're saying, in that when I go to a networking event, I sometimes might wear a bright yellow suit because I want people to say, who's in a bright yellow suit? And I want that interaction, and I want people to notice me and come up and say, hey, what do you do? And it's, being in a networking event and having that visibility and saying, come have a chat. Let's come have a chat. And then with the examples that I gave of the example wardrobe, you can definitely, pick and choose from that. And it's just to get your mind thinking and get your mind going, what classic pieces work for me? What classic pieces go for my personal style? I would love to integrate a few more of those into my wardrobe to pair with the pieces that are truly, truly my personal style, because it is just a great way to have those sustainable pieces and timeless pieces in your wardrobe that you can invest a little bit more money in, that will, last a lot longer, and you're not having to continuously turn your wardrobe over, buy new pieces all the time, buy this, that, and the other thing. And you don't have to, constantly say, what new clothing do I have to have for X, Y, and Z that I'm doing that day? So I do love that all the points that you made. They are great points, and definitely the basis is, stay true to you, stay true to your personal style, because that's where your confidence comes from. And that's this next slide, and a great segue, in that when I work with a client, I first have a good long 45-minute chat with them, because I want to get to know my client, their goals, their aspirations, what makes them happy, what are they already drawn to. And I love one of the questions that I ask, and I say, what 3 words do you want someone to think the minute that they meet you, in business and in personal and in just you? And through those questions, I'm able to really gear what is truly important to my client. What is the true essence of how they want to be? And hearing those, I want to be, stylish, chic, and, super approachable. And then I will gear it this way. And then I also, ask the normal questions of, colors, and what are you drawn to? And I go through colors, I go through the body type, I go through the fit, I ask, about a style icon. And then I have a bunch of different style mood boards of, are you drawn to street style? Are you drawn to preppy style? Are you drawn to classic style? And then from that, as you can see on the slide, I have personalized style mood boards that I create for every single one of my clients. And once I create them, I have a chat back with them to say, this is where I see your style going, and these are the cuts, and these are the shapes that would work best for your body type. Do you feel that this is going to work for your casual weekends, for your smart casual weekends, for your dressed up business days, for your date nights, for your events, for every aspect of your lifestyle? And is this going to propel you to that image that you want to personify and have, because it's your true personal style? So I truly cater every one of my clients' style to them and to their essence. And I love seeing the transformation, because when I work with clients, I do the long chat, the style mood board, the virtual wardrobe edit, because we don't realize how much stress, how many memories, and how many limiting beliefs we keep stuck in our closet that we look at every single morning. And our closet may or may not end up being a source of stress for us that we don't realize that exists. And removing all of those pieces, and removing all of those limiting beliefs and or pieces that just literally don't work for you anymore, and then getting into the new pieces, I just absolutely love seeing my clients turn into this amazing new person that they never thought they could be, but is truly them, and is truly the person that they are excited to show everybody that they are. And I absolutely love what I do. I love making people feel good, look good, and have those amazing conversations and have those amazing days. And I will read this real quick from one of my clients. I was at a company's conference this week, seeing my coworkers for the first time in 18 months, and I was so surprised by all the compliments I got. One person even asked if I lost weight. I haven't, but I think the new clothes and your advice made all the difference in the world. And that makes my day. When my client is so super happy, I know that I have made a difference, and I have made them feel amazing. and get those conversations that they might not have had. And I had a text I got this morning from a client who told me that she gave a presentation yesterday and she got 6 new clients and she got more compliments than she has ever had in her entire life. And it just makes my day hearing that my clients are super happy. So that is the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time this morning. I greatly appreciate it. Did anybody have any other questions?
Do you have any broad sort of rules or conventional wisdom about age appropriate anything?
It's kind of going out the door.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And it's for me so refreshing is that, I mean, with Miu Miu last runway season, but for this season, popping mini skirts all over the place. The whole no mini skirt after the age of 40 is, gone. And that's, quite a slightly shocking example because people feel very strongly about mini skirts, but it really shows that fashion is changing. Ageism is thankfully very much leaving. The fashion rules are very much leaving. Some of them are still steadfast, but it is definitely changing to, much more is, totally fine. And for you to try and to just have fun with and, look at pieces that you might not have thought of trying them because it's so much more acceptable. And with the rise of Instagram and so many amazing people showing their own personal style and showing, what they love. And no matter the age you are, there are so many people out there of, wow, there's a 80-year-old gentleman on here who's got crazy style and is wearing pieces that you might not have thought were age appropriate to him, but he looks amazing. And he now has, quite an Instagram following. So it's very much old fashioned rules are gone. A lot of the stigmatism is gone. A lot of the, immediate thoughts on certain things are definitely gone, which is, wonderful.
I have a question about, you said the 80-20, the 20% of your wardrobe that's more on trend or more changing. How often do you think that people should change that? I mean, I'm kind of guilty of you said about, your closet and you have these pieces you won't get rid of, but you don't wear. And it's like, how often should you be kind of reassessing and getting rid of stuff and getting new stuff? Because I have a problem with the getting rid of part.
It's really hard. I will tell you, it is really, really hard because when you try to do a wardrobe detox or a wardrobe, just clean out by yourself, it's really hard because you double think and you're like, well, I'll wear it later. Well, I'll wear it sometime. But you really should have just the mindset of, I haven't worn it in, 2 to 3 years, a year. I put it on and I take it off and it never seems to work. Or it is from old life of mine that I had that, just needs to go. Or it literally doesn't work for my body type anymore. Or, the major ones of like holes, stains, super faded looks, I like to call it sad. And sometimes I will even take my clients' clothing and put it on myself and be like, do you like it now? And they're like, nope, never mind, it goes. So it's really having that hard conversation with yourself of, is this piece making me happy? Is it benefiting me? Should I keep it in my wardrobe? And it is hard to do it by yourself, for sure. But some people like to do a wardrobe detox once a month. That's a lot. I say, you're doing really great if you're doing it every season, and that's still quite a bit. But if you do it every season, then you can, bring in just a few pieces for that season that you'd like to add in, or one or two trend pieces that you're like, I want to try this, then that is great. But I always tell my clients, start with looking at, do I have a style icon? Do I have a style direction? Do I have an idea of, do I want to do a capsule wardrobe? Do I want to have a full wardrobe? And just really thinking about the process and a blueprint of where I want to go, to then have direction of what I want to remove out, in addition to the pieces that don't work, are stained, ripped, whatever, or I put on and take off, or I've had and I haven't worn in years, that just need to go. Does that answer, Zoe?
Yes, thank you.
Yep, welcome. Megan, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, I'm just going to give one tip on that.
Yep.
Going through the wardrobe is to add a little objectivity to it.
Mm-hmm.
When I put my clothes in the closet, like after they've been washed or, they're clean, going back in, I always put them in one direction.
Yep.
Always on the right.
Yep.
Or left, whatever it is. So then when I'm thinking, oh man, I need to clean some stuff out, there's evidence that, hey, everything on the left, like I haven't worn that.
Yep.
And that's helped me a lot, kind of take out the, going back and forth with myself.
Yep.
And I've changed sizes a lot over the years. And it's funny, I've had to say to myself, even if it fit, I wouldn't wear it, right?
Yes.
And I still have it.
Yep.
So I've really unloaded a lot. And also that way I'm finding, wow, I'm really focused on the things that I do like. And I'm a pretty good pattern detector, and I can see, oh, well, everything that's on the right, it has these characteristics. So kind of just that habit over time has been helpful in a few ways.
Yeah, definitely.
And I did just want to say too, I used a stylist about 15, 20 years ago when I was like 38, a recent college graduate and entering into a new profession, as like entry level, but, I didn't fit the demographic of the entry level, and just in a short period of time. And I found that extremely beneficial.
Yes.
And well worth
awesome
the investment, and even to say, oh, well, because I had my interview suit and stuff, and it was really a lot more hair and stuff like that. But it was like the earrings, like, oh, you need something with texture, or, just a little nuanced things. And, it got me thinking this might be another good time for some of that. But I have invested in professional styling before, and it was very well worth it.
Awesome. I'm so glad. I am so glad to hear that, for sure. And it is, and this is one thing that I hear from, 99% of my clients is, I never would have put that on. I never would have thought to pick that out. You made it look so different on me than I would have put it on. And I never would have put those two together. And it's really, when you work with a stylist, it's really, just opening your mind to stuff that you might have not have ever tried, that the stylist knows this will look amazing on you. Just pop it on and you're like, okay, I hated it on the hanger, but on me, I don't know what happened. It looks great. Thank you. And then I loved, Megan, what you were saying is that when you have your wardrobe, there are definitely so many tricks that can totally help you, because you don't realize that you only wear about 20 to 30% of your entire wardrobe. The rest of it just hangs out, literally collecting dust. And it is something that, flipping the hanger or putting them all in a different section and seeing, what am I gravitating to and what am I not? And a trick I like to do with clients is, take those pieces out, put them in a box, right on the top of the box. If I have not touched this in 6 months, this entire box is, going to the Real, which I partner with as well. So if anybody wants to consign anything, can help you out with that. This is going to strictly donation, or this is going to be repurposed. But it really is a great way to say, I haven't touched it in 6 months. I obviously am not needing it. And doing those tricks and keeping your closet, benefiting you, because it really is a mood shaper, a positive mindset creator, and you don't realize it until you truly realize it. And yeah, thank you, Megan. I love those points you made. And I do have to go in about 2 minutes. I unfortunately have another chat that I have to get to, but does anybody else have any last questions?
Beacon is the premier executive networking organization serving the Mid-Atlantic region. To learn more, go to beaconforlife.org.